freedom. Whether you are being put in a position to where you can't do anything. See, you can hold me captive by making me stay in church until 5 o'clock. Because I don't feel like I should be disrespectful, and you going on and on and on, and I feel like I can't leave, so you've held me captive in the sanctuary. There are young people who don't come to church because they feel like if they come, they can't ever get out. We're holding them captive. Yeah, I used it for something you didn't think I was going to use it. We need to be mindful of that. Sometimes when we're talking to young people and they got the message and we're going on and on and on, they don't want to walk away because they're being held captive. A classroom teacher that is teaching outside of the prepared lesson and is dipping off into a religious principle, the kids can't go anywhere. They're held captive. Right? To them, that's jail. You remove their freedom from that. Elder DeVere, did you have a point?
I'm going to add to, on the opposite can be true. You can be held captive because whatever the person's presenting is so interesting that you don't want to.
That's true. Because I'm
right.
captivated.
Right.
Well, by someone's beauty.
Right.
I saw a woman the other day, her eyes were just gorgeous. And I wrote that. And so when I meet new people, I always try to put a memorable mark so that when I go back to them, I can remember their name. And I put her beautiful eyes. That's what I put. Held me captive because they were just a blue-green. I had never seen blue-green eyes. They were gorgeous. Thank you for that. So he who leads into captivity, now we've got a broader sense of captivity. Okay, shall go into captivity. So that means if you are doing this to others, it will be done to you. And he who kills with a sword. Now, interesting, I like the fact that you've given us a different dynamic, right? Because he who kills with a sword, meaning a weapon sword, right, must be killed with the sword, a weapon sword. But the word of God is called a sword, a two-edged sword, because it cuts and heals at the same time. And so I can remember somebody calling me a Bible thumper. I never heard that term before. They told me I was a Bible thumper. I'm like, what is a Bible thumper? They said, somebody's always quoting the scriptures. I said, I'm guilty. I'm guilty. They thought it was sarcasm, right? Negative. I took it as an act of, thankfulness. I appreciate it. Big brother.
I came into
Never mind. So they can hear you online.
I came into that whatever you want to call it, the Bible thumper thing when I come into this faith culture. I don't know that I actually got that interpretation of it from somebody that quotes Bible scripture. I think it's somebody that is damning with the Bible when they're thumping. I don't think it's you. I mean, I would like to defend you on that. I don't think it's you.
So I'm looking here is the patience and the faith of the saints. Remember last week we dealt with Jesus' faith and we talked about the obedience. This lesson is going to take the full gamut of it and bring it to a really beautiful conclusion. All right. Now I'm going to read this only for the sake of history, but I want you to follow it because I'm not sure if you know what I studied in regarding Sabbath afternoon lesson. So in the 15th century, the Piedmont Valley, high in the Alps of northern Italy, were home to the Waldenese. Okay, a people determined to stay faithful to the understanding of the Bible. Let me give you a side view of the Waldenese. The Waldenese were studied. In fact, the French Vandals, also they were called, originated in the 12th century in France. Here we are now in the 15th century. They're now hiding. But they originated in the 12th century. Today, they are one of the largest Protestant groups, right, that are now a part of the Catholic Church. Okay? Now, overwhelmingly, they are Catholic. Interesting enough, when they were studied in the 20th century by John Nervous Andrews, which is named after Andrews University, and there's also an elementary middle school in Tacoma Park, Maryland, next to TA and next to Sligo. Not sure if it's still there, but my nephew and niece went there. John Nervous Andrews studied the Waldensians and found out that they were Sabbath-keeping Christians. Okay? Sabbath continues. So now here we have this group of people that were determined to stay in the faith. As a result of their steadfast loyalty to Christ, they were fiercely persecuted. And in AD 1488, that's the 15th century, the Waldenese in the Valley of Most were brutally murdered by the Roman Church for their faith. You see, if you went in acquisition against the church, you were put to death. Another wave of persecution came in the 17th century, that's the 1800s, when the Duke of Savoy sent an army of 8,000 people into their territories and demanded that the local populace quarters his troops in their homes. In other words, that's what they did too in the Civil War, too, by the way, you know that, in the South particularly. They go into your home and say, we're going to use your home as quarters for this battle. And then when they found that they were enemies, they set them up. They did as he requested, but this was a strategy to give the soldiers an easy access to their victims. They killed them. So on April 24th, my great-grandmother's birthday and one of my best friends, 1655, at 4 o'clock in the morning. What do you know about 4 o'clock in the morning? That is when you get your best sleep. You in your REM sleep at 4 o'clock in the morning. I come into your house and do exactly what they did. A signal was given for the massacre to begin in their dead sleep. This time, the deaths were told more than 4,000. History, unfortunately, is often
than 1 billion Muslims,
Yeah.
Hindus,
Yeah.
and even Buddhists, right? And so they're all, though they may be, and they don't necessarily worship on a Sunday, but they still don't follow God's command, right? So I think sometimes we, not necessarily you, but as a people, we tend to look at the Sunday worship and don't pay attention. But all of these are, because if you're going against God's principle, then you're following the dragon, right? And so I think, yeah, it's important that we
but they all give their power, as the lesson points out, to the beast.
Correct.
And that's what we're going to talk about.
Right. Because
those entities that are still now, even now, we're going to talk about some dates and times to solidify this, as them giving their power to the beast. Even though they may not worship on the first day of the week, they are still empowering the beast.
And that is so true, because there was a time when the Pope couldn't go to certain countries. Now he goes to India, I don't know if he goes to China, but he goes to a lot of the countries in the Middle East that are Muslim predominantly. Right. And in those same countries, the Christians don't have freedom of worship. And yet he's able to go there and they wonder.
Welcome, red carpet. Red carpet. We're going to talk about that in a minute. Absolutely. I'm glad you brought up the point of force. Because we live in a country where there's religious freedom. It will not always be. So that if you can't run with the footman, right, what's going to happen with the swelling of the foot? It's just not going to happen. You don't jump up all of a sudden and decide and do this. It is ingrained in you. It is kept in you. You've made up your mind to serve the Lord. It won't happen. In fact, it will be too late because Michael would have already stood. We'll talk about that too. Thank you. Let's look at Sunday, the deadly wound. We want to talk about this deadly wound in such a way. Sabbath school is education. So I want to talk about education. We'll throw some things out there that I need you to answer. If you don't know, that's the purpose of Sabbath school, to learn. So as we repeat at Sunday's lesson, as we have already studied, so we've done this now for 3 weeks.